everybody. This should be okay. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about politics, but I wanted to get in on. I just wanted to show everybody like how crazy it is that
Who are you?
I am Tiffany.
Hi, Tiffany.
I have no qualifications. I'm just here. Yeah. And who are you guys?
Hi, I'm Jess. I also have no qualifications.
Hi,
That's
I'm
fine.
Kathy. I have less than them.
But more than the president.
True.
True.
We have common sense. So that means something.
Not anymore. I feel like it's more common to not have common sense at this
Yeah,
point.
it's more of a hindrance if you understand what a fact is.
What's a fact? A fact?
It
No, no,
puts you
no.
in fucking jail is what it'll put you.
Listen, I don't know if you've heard, but facts are no longer allowed in the United States of
That's
True.
America.
true. It is a
True.
Okay?
criminal offense to
We don't
look
do
up a
facts
fact.
anymore.
If a doctor tells you something, no.
Absolutely not, because he went to college and college is full of lying leftist lib. Oh, I can't.
Liberal. Oh yeah, I can't say that. Can we? Anyway, yeah.
But so I just wanted to highlight that our shadow president, Elon Musk, I just wanted to highlight some of his activity and what he's doing. So this is a graph that was posted of how often he has tweeted since 2014. And you'll notice as the years go by, that is how many times he's tweeted per day. Per day. Every single itty bitty little dot is how many times he tweeted a day. Notice how in 2024, it's almost entirely red, meaning that he hasn't done anything else other than tweet bullshit at all. He just simply hasn't. That's all he's been doing, and this is one of the men who is running our country. All he's fucking I can't say that. All he's doing is just tweeting Nazi nonsense, essentially. That's just all he's doing.
Running our country directly into the ground.
Into the ground. And just, it is, by the way, scientifically possible to throw this out there for him to be able to tweet this much and play Path of Exile 2 as much as he claims he obviously is a liar, but he is not the 7th best Path of Exile player in the world, because it is physically impossible for him to be doing both of these things at the exact same time. He literally can't.
He doesn't do anything.
No.
He pays other people to do it. Jessica, do you remember off the top of your head the name of the article on Fox News that you posted a comment on?
Let's see. I did take some screenshots when people started deleting their comments. Yeah, hold on. I can get it for you because it's all
I'll
in
pull
my
it up right
notification.
now.
Oh, 11 more people mentioned me in their comments. Well,
This is what happens when you post on Fox News the truth. Was it police police records expose? Never mind. That's not even close to what it is. Was it about the hairdresser?
Oh, the hairdresser. It was about
it was Levitt to be joined with a special guest. It was Carolyn Levitt's live press conference.
Is the U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi is with us.
Oh,
Pam,
shut up.
great.
I'm not listening to Fox News if I don't have to.
We just want to look at those comments. Because she was talking about how this man, who is completely innocent, who is not a convicted criminal at all. He is totally an innocent American citizen, was deported recently. And then Fox News was talking about how they've recently discovered all of these charges, except if you go to every single other news site other than Fox News, they will tell you that actually he doesn't have any charges on him at all. He has never had a charge against him.
He has no record still.
None whatsoever.
Do any of these look like yours? Or if you, could you read it to me again? Because all I got was love it.
Brida. Fuck. Jesus fuck. She's wearing a pink shirt, a pink short sleeve.
What is it called
blouse.
again?
It just says it just said it was her only live stream today.
Does that look right? 7 hours ago? That's not pink, is it?
I mean, if it was 7 hours ago, maybe.
It says watch
pink?
live Carolyn Levitt White House briefing, but it's from today, and she was wearing a pink shirt, and she was with another person at some point. That's what the title says right there. What you're on right now is what the title says.
There's no comments.
Oh.
Do you see comments?
Hold on. Can I send it to you?
Yes.
Probably. Right, so this is a man who is not a convicted criminal. He has no criminal history. He came to America for asylum. He was in witness protection at some point. And they deported him because they said that they recently discovered, even though there's no evidence of that whatsoever. There's no charge on his record to be found. You can look it up yourself. This man is completely innocent. He has done nothing wrong. And Jessica put in the comments, like, you guys want to deport criminals. Well, our president is a criminal. He's a convicted criminal.
No. So what they said, what she started saying was, like, we do not want rapists in the country. So she said there is no chance of him coming back to America. Regardless if he gets released, he is not allowed to come back to America. If he does come back to America, they're going to deport him immediately. And they said, we are not allowing rapists and criminals to come back into our country. He is not a rapist. He is not a criminal. There is zero criminal record. Today in their briefing, she decided to go along and at some point say that a couple years ago, there were domestic abuse charges. He has no criminal record. So if there were domestic abuse charges, they would be on his criminal record. He has no record.
No record.
But
there we go. So,
but even if he did have domestic abuse charges, that is not enough to deport someone from the country.
The whole situation is okay. So, and then that's another thing. The whole situation, it's very unfair. And this is a regular person with three children and a wife. And he gets pulled over. He got pulled over while his son was in the car with him. And that was it. He got arrested and he was gone. He was never given a court hearing. He didn't have the opportunity to do any of those things.
No, and people are freaking out about how foreigners or migrants are coming to America and making all these political protests and changing the country and taking jobs and all of that. And then they turn around and they praise Elon Musk, who is a foreigner, who heavily controls the country. Why is he okay to do it? But all these completely normal American citizens who all they do is maybe vote and maybe work a job that you as an American don't even want. They work the jobs that nobody wants. They are the problem for some reason. That doesn't make any sense. That the math isn't mathing. It doesn't logic out. There's no reason. There's no rhyme to it. There's an epidemic in the country of a complete lack of empathy. There is no empathy for the people around you. And it doesn't make any sense. People aren't animals. People aren't freaks just because they're different from you. They're people. They were born here. They were raised here. Or they came here seeking a better future for themselves and their families. And the fact that you are incapable of putting yourself in their shoes or caring at all is just crazy. I just don't understand.
People
The
feel that
same
way. But they feel
people.
that way because like they think it's not going to happen to them. But
But it has been is the problem. It is
things are
currently happening
changing.
to them.
Trump right now is trying to push for homegrown Americans, in his own words, homegrown Americans to be sent to these same death camps. Like, and people are like, oh, well, then they shouldn't break the law. And it's crazy
But
because
they
most of these
didn't
people
break the
don't break
law.
the laws. They work, they pay taxes. Like, you know, they're just trying to provide.
And even if they did break the law, that is not an excuse to send them to torture camps. You don't get tortured for running a red light. That's not how that works. That's not how that happens. There's due process for a reason. You know, there's if you do this wrong, this is what happens to you. You can't just go from I'm a green card holder, I pay taxes, I do not have a criminal history to Guantanamo Bay. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that to somebody? What if that was your brother? What if that was your sister? What if that was your mom? What if that was your dad? What if that was your kid who that happened to?
See,
And
that's what I don't understand.
Care is I don't understand how you can have just again a complete lack of empathy in the
Well,
world.
that's why like when people are so quick to be like, oh, well, then they shouldn't have came here illegally if they didn't want to face the consequences. This guy, first of all, he is legal. He's here. He's legal. He's not here, but he is legal. And he has lived here since 2014, 2014, 2011. 2011 he moved here. He was 15 years old. He moved here and he got granted protection from this gang that they are now saying that he is involved in. He left his country to get away from this gang. And I just my my thing is he's just one person, and he just so happens to be a legal resident of the United States. I don't know names of the hundreds of thousands of other people that are being picked up and deported. I don't even know they exist. So I can't imagine what is happening to people who are, I don't know, undocumented. People who are here legally but are still being, you know, they're forcibly being removed. It's crazy to me. And no, what pissed me off today was the stupid, you know, now that was my fault. I didn't really know what I was doing when I was commenting on a freaking Fox News post, which I never comment on. I just like reading the comments because they're usually pretty funny. But I like comment right after she decides to say, Miss Carolyn Levitt decides to be like, we do not allow rapists and criminals in our country. And it's like, that's so weird because the president of the United States is a rapist. And then she's like, oh, well, we don't allow people who endanger women's lives. And I'm like, oh, that's funny because our president also has been endangering women's lives. And of course, 57 people decide to comment and they're like, it's Easter. Can you let it go? Can you let it go? It's a holiday. Can I let go that our president raped women? Forcibly raped women.
Forcibly.
What?
When he said, I'm
No,
going
no,
to
don't you
grab
see?
that
They
girl in
lied
the
about it. She lied. He was convicted because I just put the link of, you know, Associated Press, which is not Democrat, it's not Republican, it's Associated Press. What jury
Listen,
finds Trump liable for sexual abuse. That happened. He is convicted.
he's convicted. He's a convicted
but this
criminal.
is the thing though. This is what bothers me. I am aware of what he has done. I am aware. But when I make that comment, other people are like, hey, you're stupid. Why don't you educate yourself?
Yes.
Hey, I've never heard of this. Show me one web page that says this. And I'm like,
And there's
if you
like
just type the two words
50.
into Google, 500 pages will show up. But
If
no,
you
like
look
nobody wants to
anywhere
do
that isn't
that.
Fox, anywhere. If only one news station, which is owned by the man that is giving you the information that he wants. If only one news station is telling you what you want to hear and all of the other ones are saying something totally different, maybe that one news station is wrong.
But that's not how half of these people look at it. They literally are like, well, no, that can't be true because Trump said it wasn't true. I'm like, oh well, then that makes sense.
Oopsie
You know
daisy, my
what? Why
bad.
not? Why not?
And being an American is embarrassing right now. Just embarrassing. It's humiliating to live here and
Oh my gosh.
to be around Republicans at all. It is embarrassing to be there.
It is embarrassing.
They'll say just the most not blatantly Nazi propaganda you've ever heard. And then try to act like they're some sort of hero for saying it, or they should get
Okay.
a round of applause.
But okay, so you're saying they say Nazi propaganda. What about the Republicans that don't say the Nazi propaganda? What about the Republicans that don't like Trump, but they voted for him anyway? There's a lot of them.
They're feeling the consequences of that right now because they're typically in the rural areas and they're farmers and they're, they're people who all the time they were so for cutting all this government supplement spending, not realizing that is around 50% of all of their incomes because all of these farms that America has, they only sold to the government. It's not like they were selling so that they can take them to other countries. It's not like they were selling them to other Americans. We can't eat all that we grow. That's not how that works. But since
were
Trump
you
cut
told
the funding,
was there
and
a huge
he put tariffs on, it is almost impossible to own as a regular American farmer, rural person, to sustain off of the current climate. It's just not. They just can't do it. They've lost 50% of their income like that. Gone.
Were you aware? I mean, hugely aware. Like this centered around you and your friends and everybody that Walmart was a huge blackout this week. A huge blackout this week.
You told me that. I don't think
yeah. Besides coming from me, have you heard that from anybody else?
No, I have not. No.
Okay, so if you look at the Walmart boycott online, all the Republican news outlets, they're claiming that the Democrats are doing this huge Walmart blackout this week, and then they're going to do. They have the companies picked for like the rest of the month, and every day they report to their viewers about how the Democrats are doing these huge blackouts. We're not. Nobody told us this, and I mean, I'm sure some are. I'm sure, but it's just like a small few. But they look at these small few and they're making these huge stories on like Newsweek. If you go to Newsweek is a huge Republican piece of garbage, not news site. So if you go to Newsweek, they're saying all these things on here.
The cameras are in the way. You gotta make them smaller.
They have all these stories on here about what Democrats are doing right now. And that Walmart was just one of them. And we're just not. We have absolutely nothing to do with all these things that they're talking about. I was looking and it was just crazy. So I saw, let me see if I can find the article, because there was a bunch of them. Walmart boycott. They had article after article every day about how the boycott was going. And okay.
I haven't heard of weekly boycotts.
This right here is where this isn't where it started. this is another article saying the national economic blackout on April 18th. Which stores are being targeted? So you guys, we are Democrats, so we should know which stores we are going to target on April 18th, because it's a big plan amongst Democrats right now. It's a huge plan amongst all of us. No, the fuck it's not. We don't know anything about this.
No.
This is them just telling the Republicans, this is what Democrats are doing this week. Okay, I believe there is a People's Union USA group. I believe they are planning a blackout, but no Democrats look at that. Only Republicans look at that. And so just so you know, this Friday and the 19th and the 20th, all companies. The blackout is all companies now. We are just blacking out all companies unless it's.
And you know what makes sense?
small
They're
one.
saying that Democrats have stopped spending, and that's, because that's probably giving them a reason to say, oh, don't panic about the tariffs, don't panic about the, the stock market crashing. It's just the Democrats being panicins.
Yep. This was on the 14th. This was them telling us what the Democrats are doing on the 14th.
See, there have been boycotts, but not like it was when everybody took away DEI, everybody was like, okay, well, we'll find somewhere else to buy our stuff. But this was 2 months ago.
Exactly. And that's what they do.
Not next week.
They
What
take
is next
one
week gonna do?
iota of truth and they build this whole lie around it. And because they can prove that one little thing of truth, everything they say must be true. And that's what they constantly do.
That's okay. That is true. But here is the thing. They hear one thing. Boycotts are going to be on the 18th. And I'm like, okay, no, these 52,500 websites say that they're not. Yep. No, they are going to be. Because okay, but these 75,000 essays say they're not. No, they are. I'm like, okay, but here are all these facts.
Yeah.
Like, and it is literally like talking to a brick wall. I don't understand.
And then they say shit like there are space lasers that are killing Jews or whatever, and everybody's like, yeah,
no, the Jews are killing people with space lasers. Get it together.
Thank you.
Oh, that makes more sense. They're like, see, well, I believe that.
Out. Yep, that checks out. Yep. Democrats, we spend our Friday nights, pedophiling and then aborting babies while mothers are in labor. That's what we do every Friday night.
That's our typical Tuesday,
Yep.
Well, no, I don't. No, I only do abortions on Mondays. I keep it to like 5 a year. That's all the taxpayers pay for.
Because
the taxpayers only pay for 5 a year.
That's right. The taxpayers pay for my pedophilia activities and my abortions.
But we could all just be sexual assaulters.
That's
and
true.
Then we get everything we want.
If we would just be a sexual assaulter instead of a pedophile, we'd be fine.
See, but that's what we should be telling. Yes, that's what we should be telling immigrants. If you sexually assault someone, you're good to go. You can stay.
Great.
You can get a high up position.
You can become president.
Yes. But if you are following the laws, you're out of here. You are out of here. You
have taxes? To be Christian, but you cannot actually follow what the Christianity.
If you actually follow what the Bible says, you're
you're only allowed to read
leftist Nazi, and you a pedophile, absolutely a pedophile, and you deserve the death sentence. But if you follow what this itty bitty little passage that I found that's super convenient for me says, then you're a wonderful Christian. God bless you. We love you. That's just crazy. Like I went to church. I know what the Bible says. I went to Catholic school my entire life. And I know that none of that shit that they're doing is godly in the slightest.
I love when they put a Bible verse up and they're like, this is how it is because this is what it says in the Bible. Wow. Are you joking? The Bible contradicts itself over and over and over again. Have you ever
actually front to back read the Bible?
Yes.
Have you? Because
I did.
If you read the Bible front to back, I can 100% guarantee that the final message the end result of the Bible was not that we should put people on planes and ship them to prison camps. I feel like that is not the go-to. It's also not to support a genocide happening
in
on
multiple
purpose,
places of the
on
in multiple
purpose,
places in the world right now.
just for
Multiple places
economic
is going
gain.
on.
Like, wow, Jesus never said it was cool to slaughter an entire race just for the fun of
But
it.
they're not white Christians. So of
Oh
course it's
darn! It's
okay.
all, but Jerusalem
But-
is still a holy land, though. You should feel disgraced for purposefully slaughtering the people who live in Jerusalem and around it just because they're not practicing the same religion as you. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. That is the exact opposite of what your religion stands for. And the fact that you are looking other people dead in the eyes and saying, they deserve it. They're not people, they're animals. They deserve to die
They're
because they're not
animals.
Christians.
That's exactly what they say. They're
Like,
animals.
what are you
They're
talking
foreigners.
about?
No, like my whole like stance on everything is okay, you can have your issues with whatever you want. If you don't like people because of their sexuality, because of their gender, because of their race, I don't agree. But people are sitting here knowing that these people are being killed, and their response is, well, shouldn't have broken the law.
Yeah,
So
they
you
shouldn't have
think
broken the law.
so you think that
We're cleaning up our streets.
regardless of what the crime is, you think that it is normal and it is deserved for this person to be going through like physical, emotional, mental pain until
And
they die? Like that is what blows my mind. And when I have like I've been noticing so many people that I don't want to say I'm around, but like customers, things like that, like speak very freely about some things, and I know where they stand, and it's disgusting. Like
it's disgusting.
I don't want to talk to these people anymore. Like it is absolutely disgusting.
Like, these people fantasize in their head about how communist China is doing all of these horrific, awful, horrible things. But then they advocate for those exact same horrific, awful, horrible things to happen to their neighbors, to the fellow kids that go to their sons and daughters' schools, to completely innocent people. And they're like,
Innocent
thank
people.
God this is happening. Thank God
Yes.
that these people are essentially being smoked by the government for no real reason at
Do you
all.
know? Do you know? I was just listening to this guy talk, and he was an American. He moved to China, and he was talking about how he hated his life because when he was in America, he was working 5, 6 days a week. All he was doing was working. He barely got to spend time at home. In his free time, he would go run errands, go to the grocery store, whatever. He was living to work. He said he moved to China. He said his rent was like $600 a month for a 3 bedroom. He also said he has the potential. The houses there, $60,000. That's it, 60,000.
They
And
don't have the
for
same
big houses.
housing market that we do
No,
here.
but he also said that like his electric bill is $20 a month. All of his insurance, like medical, everything is included. So he also said there are 0 people that are homeless in China, not one, because
Yes.
the government provides for everything.
Yes,
Part of your
there
rent.
are, in China there are free houses, there are dollar houses there, but the Chinese housing market works different. It's you can own a house, but you don't actually own the land the house is on. The land that it's on does still belong to either like just somebody else or the government or whatever. But the China doesn't believe in like we do, like investing in your home and then your home growing in value over time. That's they hate that. They don't do that there. Instead, that they build a house, they build it quickly, and it's your house, but it's on land that you're renting from somebody else. But if you want to move or whatever, you tear down the houses there and you rebuild, because it's so much cheaper and better for them to rebuild a better house than to take a one that's already built. But they have no homeless because they do have whole sections where there is literally free housing. It's
that
just that
they
the
force
homes
them
aren't
to
very
go to.
the homes
Like
aren't very good.
they literally physically force them to go there.
Yes.
They don't have free will to do what they want. The police come and they take them and then they put them in that house.
And we
that's where
as
they stay.
Americans is here's a thing that you might not know. We as Americans currently have the ability, even if we aren't living in China, we can buy a Chinese home and rent it out to other people right now. And it can't be like the free ones, but it can be like some of the dirt cheap houses. And then we could use our American dollars to buy that house and then rent it out to Chinese residents. And that's totally legal. And we don't have to actually be a resident of China to own land in China at all.
No, you don't. And the guy who moved there, he said that he came over there. They didn't ask him for anything. They
Nope.
did not ask him for working papers, proof of income. They didn't ask him for a credit score. Of course,
Nope.
they don't do that. But like he was able to say, "Hey, I want this apartment," and they were like, "Okay, it's this
Okay.
much a month."
Yeah.
Let him move in. They let him move in without $1 being paid. $1,
Mhm.
nothing. And then you pay it on the whatever day every month. And if you don't pay, they come and, they make you leave. But that's crazy to me that you don't have to jump through 5,000 hoops
And then you go to jail.
to get a property.
They take
Like,
you to jail. If you don't pay, the police come and they put you in jail, and then you can't get out of jail until you pay, but you don't make any money in jail. So you stay in jail.
you don't stay there forever if you're homeless. There's no way they
In
make it
China?
impossible.
In
Yeah.
China? Yeah, you go to
Yes.
jail. You stay
So
in
if
jail.
you're homeless, you're in jail for the rest of your life without the opportunity to live outside those jail
If
walls.
you don't pay, you stay in jail until it's paid.
I don't see that would be very crazy.
That
Because
is
you're
crazy.
telling me if you are late with your rent, they just come pick you up and you're in jail for the rest of your
Listen,
life.
the Chinese government does not fuck around with their people. You have rules, you follow those rules, you go to jail.
That would be insane from a country that's like saying that would be crazy that you're locked up. You get a life sentence if you're late on rent once.
No, you can
Okay.
pay.
But at the same time,
can
if you're
pay.
late on rent, that's your own fault. $600 a month, that's on you. That is on you. If you can't pay that, that's crazy.
Well, it's
Because
on you if you know that there are cheaper. Like if you can't afford $600 a month, but you move into an apartment that's $600 a month, like on purpose. Yeah, that is on you. That's on you. There's no reason to. If you have like a job and you have a budget, especially when there's such a large range of.
No, you are both
homes.
Americans. None of you spend within your budget.
I do.
I know, but I'm saying that again, China has literally houses for free. If you can't afford a house that's whatever amount a month, just go to a free one. You don't have to go to it's the same country. They're everywhere.
They don't really get to choose which house they go to. They don't get the choice. You don't get choices like that in China. You don't get to choose what you do.
No, I'm saying if you have X amount of income, and you have that, the government knows you make this much, and then you willingly choose to go live in a place that is so obviously out of that income. That is on you. You did that. That is you did, because the government's not going to tell you, knowing fully well that you don't make this much, that you have to live in an area where it's more, where you have to pay. That doesn't make any sense. They won't do that to you. I'm not saying that they're nice or that they're not a communist. I'm just saying that they know how much you make. They're not going to force you to be in an apartment that you literally can't afford. That's not true. They're not going to do that. So if you go to an apartment that you literally can't afford, that is on you. You did that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I have not heard anything about that, and I'm not educated on China at all. But like everything I'm seeing online says that if you are homeless, you are given three different choices. They provide you shelter for 7 days, and then they buy you a ticket back to your hometown. Or they just give you the option to go back to your hometown. That is it. It does not
That
say
is
anything
propaganda.
about
That is Chinese propaganda. It just is.
on Reddit too.
Yeah, we don't get to
Everything,
know. We
every
don't get to
single
know what
website.
happens in China. The people who are like Reddit isn't allowed. You're not allowed to post anything from China and Reddit. It's blocked.
Oh, it's
So
on there. It is
what
100% on
everything
there.
you're
I
getting
don't know if
is
Reddit
from
is blocked in China. I don't know if that's true.
it. It has to because of
I
the
think China is a very
amount of.
large. I think they love Reddit actually in China.
It says every city has a reception center close to the train station. A homeless person can stay there in a dormitory style setting
Is Reddit
and
it's blocked?
receive something to eat. They're given a few days to try to find a job. If they're unsuccessful, they are given a train ticket back to their hometown. In China, it's considered a great shame if you have a relative who is homeless and you don't do anything to help them. China also has a lot of low paid skill jobs which provide very minimal housing. I don't know, but I mean, even if we did that here in the United States, it would still help a lot of people out.
It's not possible right now to do that here because of how much we value our housing market and how horrible our housing market currently is. If we tried to do something similar to that, the housing market would bubble, essentially would just crash.
We couldn't. The people who have all the money would never allow something.
Everybody who owns homes, owns properties in power right now would simply never do that because that would devalue everything that they put all their life savings into. And it just doesn't work. But
I bet us three making the money that we make, which is nothing, which is like the bottom of the barrel amount of money, could get together and build like a land with like 50 of those little tiny houses on or whatever, and one big hall in the middle for like food and stuff for dirt cheap and charge dirt cheap for rent. And that's just us three. Imagine if you were rich.
Yeah, but the rich people don't want to help the little people. They don't want anybody to get better. They make money off of people not being successful. They don't want anybody successful.
Mm-mm.
And it's clear. It has been clear. It absolutely has been. All these people lost all that money when the stocks dropped last week. And Trump was in the Oval Office bragging accidentally. He didn't know he was being recorded. He is clear as day on camera though, with all his friends, talking about how this guy made $6 billion in one day. $6 billion in one day because Trump told him to put his money in this stock overnight. Like that was crazy.
COVID, when we all were desperate. We were desperate.
The billionaires made much money.
Billions and billions.
So much money.
Millionaires made millions and billions. I mean, they just. And that's the way they want to keep it.
And the tariffs happened, and the tariffs happened, and everybody told Donald Trump, this is not going to work out. Everyone started freaking out. We lost $3 trillion.
Listen, so then I'm not against tariffs. I'm not against tariffs.
It's the way.
However,
is the problem.
I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it. Biden taxing the rich people to pay the taxes that they deserved would have given America way more money than this tariff bullshit that's going on.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
100%.
The billionaires do not need a tax break.
No.
They have the money to pay for
it. The billionaires don't pay taxes. They just simply don't.
Nope,
I'm pretty sure Donald Trump has said out loud on purpose several times, I don't pay taxes. Like he just
only idiots pay taxes.
He
said it. Only idiots pay taxes.
And now you see though, there are some states who, I don't know how that works, but they have ruled out, like, there is no more taxes in some states right now.
Yep.
They have filed it with their courts and said that our state
They're
is now
trying.
tax free.
They're trying.
Like, and that's, I don't know how that's gonna go,
It
but
won't.
I do know that, like, they're in the process, or they, I don't know, they were, but that's, I mean, that's how it should be. If people are making, I mean, just so much money just in interest every day, not even making income, it's just interest. It's just money coming in from
Yes.
nothing.
From nothing.
And they don't have to pay
Residual.
taxes on anything. And they own all these businesses, they own
And
whatever
we are
company.
like triple taxed. We got taxed on our income. So we make $100 a week. We get $50 of that taken out in taxes. So now we have $50 left. Well, if we go buy something, we have to pay taxes on that. To buy something, we have to pay more taxes on it. It's just stupid.
Listen,
And then
I
that
do
money
not,
that was taxed, the business owner has to pay taxes on.
yeah.
That
And then,
that
and
dollar
then
bill
see,
has been taxed.
and this is another thing, like, someone texted me, like, I don't know, like a month and a half ago, and they were like, hey, are you happy that Trump got rid of taxes for tips?
For tips, yeah.
And I was like,
He didn't.
I'm
It
like,
just didn't happen.
oh, when did that happen? Oh, it did today. No, it didn't today. I'm like, so when did that happen? No, he said it. No, he said he was going to do that. That does not mean that that is what is happening. And that's what people don't understand. People are like, yeah, but he said it. He said we were all going to be better. He said everything was going to
Obama
be cheap
said
again.
he was going to build these speed trains, and people in America were going to be able to so quickly and easily get to the other states because he was going to build these speed trains. You
The
could
speed
get a
trains, by
job
the
in
way,
another
that
state.
China successfully
Yes.
built.
But we could get a job in another state, and then you're fine because you just get on the speed train in the morning and you get there in time, and you can work, in another state real close. I could work in Florida. I could get a job anywhere. It didn't happen. So
Yeah, but
Donald
could
Trump,
you
If
even,
it did,
can that even happen though?
yes,
Can you do that?
literally,
yeah, they
it
started
can
building the
happen.
infrastructure.
The
But
thing is that the car industry, the auto industry refuses to allow it to be done. So what they did instead is they made all these legal blockades, but they're not real blockades. They're like, oh, we have to ask permission from all of these different people,
Red tape,
all of these
paperwork.
different people before you're allowed to build a train there, put a train there. And it's like every single social justice group has the right to say, no, actually, you can't put a train there. No, actually, you can't put a train. No, actually, no. And not just the social justice group, but like in order to build these trains and the infrastructure, they have to obviously go through land that is owned by other people, and the auto industry make sure that those people definitely have the right to say no, that you can't build a train here, and they just put as many blockades as possible in order to build these trains. And it's honestly just sad because if the technology exists, and if we did have these trains, these speed trains,
The immigrants would trash them.
no, it's just
The
things
women
would be
would try to drive them.
much better. Things would be so much better if
We
just
could
used these
we
speed
could
trains.
perform abortion going
Abortion
500
quick.
miles an hour.
Wow,
that's
Nice.
true. That's true.
house
You know,
home
and
job
when you
market.
when you said Obama,
it would just
like,
be so much better. We could
we-
get rid of all these fucking parking lots that are everywhere that are just ridiculous. That are so big. The traffic would go down
Oh my
immensely.
God.
Like, are you kidding me?
yeah, they're
But so
not. That's
instead
not a
of
thing. They're not
ins-
going to ever do something
instead
like
of
that.
making these speed trains, they just added more lanes and more buses all over the place,
For
which just
pollution.
caused more traffic.
That's fine.
So it really just didn't help at all.
I think for our next stream, you know
Mhm.
what I think we should do?
What?
We should talk about everything that the Republicans have defunded.
I agree. That's good.
I'll make a list. I'll figure it all out. I'll make a list, and
I'm fine with that.
I'm going to have receipts
I don't think
So
we can.
I'm not just going to say to the internet that the Republicans have defunded eggs. I'm gonna tell you
What they
exactly
did,
what they
though.
defunded. I'm gonna tell you who voted for these bills, and we should just talk about everything.
I don't even think we have time to go through all of it. We should
Listen,
just get the
do you
heavy
want to
hitters.
know the easiest way for me to figure out what they defunded?
How?
Come on, think. What is the easiest way for me to figure out what the Republicans defunded?
Go to a supermarket?
Probably listening to Fox News and listening to what they say that they did fund, because that's probably the opposite.
No, you were so close. Go to Fox News and see what they're saying the Democrats defunded.
Yeah.
Whatever they said the Democrats have defunded, I guarantee you they defunded that shit twice.
Fun little factoid for you here. When Trump did this tariff stuff, and with Canada specifically, the tariffs for Canada, when he saw them at the beginning of this term, he was like, "This is the worst deal I have ever seen. I don't know what idiot made this deal with Canada, but it doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous.
And who was
it's the dumbest
it?
thing
And
I've ever
who
seen in
was
my
it?
whole life." And
Yeah.
do you know who made that bill?
I
Donald
do.
fucking
I
Trump is the
do.
one who made
I do.
it that way. They had a whole normal agreement, and Donald Trump is the one that made the bullshit that he stumbled on later.
For real, what I actually do love that came to light with these tariffs, especially with China,
is that Donald Trump has wanted tariffs for a very, very long time. So he put a whole economic group together to put actual tariffs that made sense economically. He had a whole binder, a whole big booklet about how it was going to actually work, and they handed it to him with all of the numbers and all of the reasons why this is the correct and perfect way to handle tariffs. But Donald Trump said, "No, that looks boring and those numbers are small. I hate that. Let's do this instead." And then he just put 10% on everybody and did a whole bunch of random fucking math.
But China, though,
just out of nowhere.
Listen, China TikTok is wild right now, and I'm sure they're going to be sued, and I don't think they care. But with the tariffs going on right now, China has been blowing up because all of their TikTok shops, all these people are I'm not even joking. I'm loving it too. They're like, "Hey, Lululemon set, get these leggings and this shirt. It costs $6 here in China. We make it. Lululemon doesn't make it. We make it. Buy it from us for $8 instead of $100. Yep. Same with what Hermes. Their bags are $38,000 for a purse. China just got on and said, "We will sell it to you for $1,000. It's what we make it for here." Skip the middleman. They are giving direct links to Louis Vuitton, to Coach, everything. They are saying, "Hey, Nike is made here in China. Send us this money." You're muted, by the way.
Mom, you're muted.
You're still muted.
You're just still muted. You keep talking.
We don't want China getting stronger. That's the very last thing in this world we want. Out of anybody in this world, we do not want China getting stronger.
They are stronger.
100%,
they are stronger than us.
No.
They have been stronger than us.
However, we do not want China getting stronger. That is 100% a fact. As an American, we do not want China to be any stronger than they are right now.
I think they are stronger than us.
The way that we are going about trying to get China to conform and whatever is the worst possible way to go about it. All we are doing is giving China more power right now. That's all we are doing. We are every single day the dollar goes down in value because of all of this bullshit that the Republican Party is doing.
Always remember, we have the most power, as in physical military power.
Yeah, but if
they all got together,
if we can't just be normal for 4 seconds and just talk, instead of needing to go nuclear every single time we get into a discussion with another country, why can't we just be normal? Why can't we just be shut the fuck up. I'm on.
He doesn't want to be normal. He wants chaos. With Greenland, he's like, oh, well, we're gonna offer them money. If they don't take it, they're leaving anyway. I'm going to make sure they're gone. I'm going to
Yeah,
get rid of
like,
them.
why
How
can't
can
you
you
just be
say that
normal?
legally?
How, like, again, empathy. How would you feel if some random other government just started saying, "Oh, we own you now. Oh, you cute little country, we own you now." Like, I
So
don't care if you like it or not. We actually, everywhere that you live is ours now.
that has been the whole
What
history of
the
the
hell?
entire world since the beginning. The
No, not if you live somewhere, they don't own you.
No, that's been the
That
history
is
of the entire
literally what
world.
it means, though.
But I, I mean, there's no one stopping him. There's no one to stop him. Mitch
And
McConnell should have been there.
And
nobody can. No
Mitch
one
again,
can.
I just feel
Mitch
like
McConnell can.
how is it impossible?
No one can. There's
that
no way.
a
Mitch
regular,
McConnell absolutely can in a second.
Well,
In
then
a
he has brain
second.
damage. Then he has brain damage.
This is all his fault. All of it. Everything
That's
is
fine.
happening is his
You
fault.
cannot convince me that anybody with a brain cell is allowing this to happen. If it is in their power and control to change it, and they're
No,
not, people,
no.
millions of people are dying and their lives are
Millions of
changing.
dollars. Millions.
No,
The big companies are making millions and millions with Donald Trump there, and they're getting all the regulations taken away. So now they can sell long darts again, no problem. And they're not getting
what are
taxed.
the biggest companies that are profiting from all this?
Apple
I mean,
is
I
one
don't
of them.
know. I'm asking.
Apple, SpaceX, obviously.
All of the major companies, all
yeah,
of the
every single
deregulations are
major company.
sweeping. So if you own a company, you do not have to safety check your products anymore. That's gone now. Any company. So they don't have to spend any money on making their products safe. They don't have to anymore. The government's not forcing them to. You don't have to you don't have to pay taxes anymore. You don't have to pay taxes like that anymore. Those taxes are now gone. All the companies, good companies, bad companies, all of them. And they don't want that to change. They're sort of liking this.
There
I would
are
too.
a couple companies. I don't know who they are. And I don't know. I'm not educated on the subject. But there are a couple companies that filed lawsuits against the Trump administration this week because they are absolutely like 100% losing all of their business
Mm-hmm.
because
They'll
of,
just
I
simply
think
go out
it's
of
because
business.
of tariffs.
They're not
I
going to win.
believe.
Could be.
It doesn't really matter because they can't win that, because if you choose to do tariffs, there's nothing a company can do about it. They're just going to lose.
There is. Companies have huge power.
Who
That's
came
why
out
we're like this.
this week? Who came out against Trump? There was Elon, Joe Rogan, and there was a third person who was on Trump's side this whole time, and he changed. He's a big name.
I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Elon made a statement saying he disagrees with Trump and it's bad for business.
Yes,
and that was public.
Well,
Joe
Elon
Rogan
and Donald Trump have been
Murdoch did the same thing. It didn't matter.
Elon and Donald Trump have been pulling apart since the Missouri.
They're not though. They're
one
not.
of the elections. One of the elections, Donald Trump has been shitting all over Elon Musk since
But
he lost.
that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's money. So no, he's not pulling away from Donald Trump. Yeah, they're talking, they're saying things. It doesn't mean anything. It won't amount to anything. They are together. They are headed in the same direction. You know, it's all about money for these companies.
Yeah, no, that's why they're pulling apart right now, because the tariffs have fucked over so many companies that it's all of these businessmen hate
the
him.
Countries with the 100% tariffs on Teslas. That makes me happy.
Beautiful.
That was kind of comical though.
But the problem is, Elon Musk, while he says he cares about Tesla, he doesn't really actually care all that much about Tesla. What the company that he actually cares about is SpaceX. And nobody's going to touch SpaceX, because SpaceX is...
Don't start me on those fucking wannabe astronauts. Don't start. They are not astronauts.
You see Katy Perry? Katy Perry went to space yesterday?
Yep.
Yes.
And they want to be called astronauts. These millionaires who paid, millions for this seat on this, they want to be called astronauts. No, you're not a fucking astronaut.
You're not an astronaut.
And they don't understand. You know what they said? They said, well, if I was a man, I would be called an astronaut.
That's not true. Jeff Bezos, when he did it, he was put on the astronaut list. They had him as an astronaut, and then they took him off of it because they're like, no, actually, you're not an astronaut. Like they removed him
You
from
actually
the
have to
astronaut
go to
list.
school
Yes.
to become an astronaut, believe
Just
it or
because
not.
you stand in a hospital room doesn't mean you're a doctor. That's
Yep.
not how
Oh,
that works.
they are children playing with rocket ships.
Yes.
That is it. That is
Yep.
it. Oh,
Yep.
let's see how high this one can
Yep.
go
Wait.
before it explodes into a million pieces and kills people on the ground.
I really
what?
literally didn't know where I was going to get my electric bill paid just a couple days ago. It was about to get shut off. I begged them for 2 more weeks, and I knew I wouldn't have it in 2 weeks. And they're spending $1 million to go for a ride.
Yeah.
They just millions and millions of dollars they spent to go for a ride.
Just for fun. Just for funsy doodles.
That's right. I mean, Trump goes golfing every week, you know?
Yep.
On his
He is
private golf
behaving.
course.
He is not just in like political actions, but in just like his everyday casually actions. He is behaving like someone who knows that who feels that there's not going to be another election. like he's behaving as a dictator would.
How much do you think us taxpayers spend? How much of our money goes towards his diapers every year? I'm being so serious. Like, we cover all of it. 100%. We pay for all his Pampers.
Yep.
We do. Really?
And I can't get one free maxi pad.
Right?
Nope.
Yeah. But no, it's okay, Mr. President. You're running our country. You have to shit your pants every 2 seconds. We'll cover your diapers. Don't worry about it. And your fucking spray tan. We'll do that too. It's fine. And your toupee. That's cool. What? This is what money gets you. You get handed all this money down from your parents, and this is what you do. This is what you do.
He's the greatest businessman. I was looking at all of his businesses, and he literally
every single one of them has gone bankrupt.
Destroys them all.
Okay,
and they're all
listen. He only bankrupted 7 companies. It's fine.
I don't. And then he made a national, what is it? Crypto reserve. He made a national crypto reserve. America has a national crypto reserve. And then I think just last week he removed all of the legislation for crypto scams, for illegal actions transactionally through crypto. He made it illegal to prosecute those people. You just can't. It doesn't matter anymore. So he made a federal reserve for a whole monetary system, essentially, and then he made it on purpose so that it is impossible to regulate that entire system that he just put billions of dollars into. Sorry, taxpayer dollars, not his dollars, taxpayer dollars. And then the person that he put in charge of this crypto reserve is the same person that owns all of the crypto companies that he just gave these billions of dollars to. So all he did was look at this guy who's his friend and just straight up give him billions of taxpayer dollars for no reason. For
everybody high up right now are his friends. He picked them.
It's like it's not. There is no middleman. There is no middle.
Yeah, but he picked them with no experience. Like, none of them have experience.
But
none of them.
Like,
and that blows my mind.
The head of our education department right now,
it's gone. He disbanded that. There's no education department.
No, he has a lady in charge of
yes, he does.
And guess what her job was before she was the head of the education department? Guess what her job was? Guess what she did?
I know this, and I don't remember. I don't.
She was one of the people in the WWE women's fighting ring. That was her job.
I didn't know that.
She was a female fake wrestler. And now she's the head of our education. And not only that, but she keeps talking about A1. She keeps talking about how A1 is going to be in every single classroom.
Yes.
A1 is.
They were making fun of her. They were calling her the steak sauce lady. They were taking it.
It's AI.
AI.
It's A1.
Yes.
It's AI.
She was in this interview and she just kept saying A1.
Education department. Like, come on.
Oh, I know. She also in her last, well, I don't know if it was her last one. It was last week though. she did like this. I don't know if it was an interview. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but she was sitting down and talking about the Department of Education. And she was talking about how in private schools, because there are still going to be private education, there's still going to be private education the way they want it to be.
Oh, for
She
sure.
said that she thinks she is suggesting that it be required in preschool and in kindergarten to have the best of the best teachers teaching what should be taught, because children at that age are like sponges and they soak up all of that information and it builds their lives. It builds a foundation for how they're going to live their lives. And I'm just thinking, like, that is insane. Can you imagine going to preschool and like learning Trump's law? I don't know.
I am pretty
Learning to live
sure
how
all of
Trump
my
wants to
kids
live.
ate sponges at that age.
Yeah, well, like
Maybe.
that's insane. That's
Like
so
the
crazy to
number
me.
one problem, non-monetary problem in education right now, currently, is the cheating, again, epidemic going on because of things like ChatGPT and Deep Slate, where
I support cheating. In
there
school.
is not only no incentive not to cheat, but you are encouraged to cheat because the way things work, it's a curve. So if everyone who's cheating gets higher grades, the people who aren't cheating gets lower grade. It's gonna fuck over your jobs, your
Yeah.
future if you don't cheat. So there is just an insane amount of cheating academically right now, all across the board. And the person in charge of education who should be concerned about that, thinks that it's the AI that people are using to cheat is called A1. Doesn't even know what it is.
Steak sauce lady.
It's just, I just like can't. I don't understand how there's not something that we can do to take down people for sheer incompetence. For like that everybody can see that they are incompetent. They are incapable of doing what we want them to do.
Even when Obama was president, we had rules.
Yes,
he wore a tan suit one day,
and
I remember.
people
the
lost
whole
their
world.
fucking
Yep.
minds.
We had rules of how you were allowed to
him.
talk,
They
how you were allowed
wanted
to
lynch
dress.
him.
Mitch
wearing that
McConnell,
tan
I'm
suit.
telling you, the second Donald Trump stepped across those lines right there, the tan suit lines, Mitch McConnell should have removed him, and he didn't.
Yes, and he didn't.
That's what happened.
There were
Every time you
literal
keep
death
saying
threats.
Obama, and I know, no one cares. That live stream earlier, the comments I was getting under my comment were absolutely absurd. And all I said was the president, our president, current president, right now, the people you're trying to keep out of the country, he is running the country. Those type of criminals, those type of offenders. And someone wrote underneath, Obama started it. Started it.
Yep.
Obama started it. And like
President Trump is a rapist because Obama started it.
But
Gotcha.
that's the thing. Like, no matter what you say, people are in this fantasy land of make believe, whatever they want to believe. Like, you could see the headlines, and they're like, no, because Mr. Orange Man said that wasn't true. They're all just trying to ruin his reputation.
You are just in a cult.
What?
You Democrats are in a cult. That's it. That's what you are.
I'm gonna fly off the handles one day. I'm telling you guys right now. All these customers do is sit at the bar and talk about how, did you see what Trump did for gas prices this week? Did you see how he lowered eggs this week?
No, he didn't.
Are we living in the same world?
I am paying a lot for gas and eggs. A lot.
You know what? I bet you these people, I didn't even think about this before, but I bet you they don't even buy eggs. But
They don't.
But they sit there every morning and watch Fox News, and Fox News is like, oh, breaking news, Trump lowers egg prices. So now they're like, oh my gosh, he lowered egg prices. And then they go to the bar and they're like, did you hear Trump lowered egg prices? They probably don't even grocery shop. I mean, if you are a single male, like why are you going to the store to get eggs?
Right.
I mean, Michael maybe he does because he eats healthy like that. But like
Anthony would never go buy an egg ever. 100% never.
But then you're gonna have a conversation about it too. Like it was so remarkable in your day that you're gonna go to the bar and talk about eggs the entire time.
Loudly.
Like I feel like people just don't know how to. I don't want to say how, but like they don't care enough to do their own research, and they just the first thing they hear is what is facts,
And then if you
and that's
disagree
it.
with that, they tell you to go do research.
Yes.
Okay, no
Yes.
problem. Here
Oh,
is the
Yeah,
research.
here's the research.
Here,
Here's the.
I
Oh,
will
can't
show
find
it to you. You don't even have to believe me. Read it. Look at it yourself. No, that's
Where's that from?
propaganda. That's
Oh,
fake
that's
news.
not real.
but that's
fake.
exactly what the lady said. The lady's like, I've never heard of this. Where did you find this information? Anywhere, everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere.
Type the 2 words into Google and see what pops up. That's it. Like it doesn't say false news anywhere, but people just don't care enough to do the research.
And it's like I don't understand how they can say in the same breath, because there was a very large
Strider,
amount of
no.
Republicans who Donald Trump was selling a
No.
T-shirt with
Okay.
his mugshot
No.
on it after he got convicted of his felonies.
What are you doing?
He got convicted, and like we want like T-shirts with talking about like with his mugshot and saying like our president is a criminal and all this stuff. I'm like, we're proud to have a criminal as a president or whatever. And then like again, Jessica today says that he's a convicted criminal, and in the same people who bought those shirts, who are fully aware that he is 100% a convicted criminal, are like, you're just making it up, you're lying, where'd you hear that, it's not real. How you can't be proud that he is this thing and say that this thing is made up and he's not this thing at the exact same time. It just doesn't work like that.
My thing with all these, like all the Republicans that support everything that is going on, anything and everything, how can you sit there and know that someone was convicted of sexually assaulting multiple people, convicted of many charges, but then you're also like, yes, deport people like that. They deserve it. But
Or
not this guy.
women.
This guy deserves to lead us into greatness. Like,
Women.
what?
How can women be like, yes, he's my president?
Yes.
What are you?
The amount of rape babies that have been born since his presidency is astronomical. The amount of women murdered in childbirth, and I don't mean they died of natural, I mean because of doctors being unable to operate on them, they have just died, or they needed to have their ovaries removed, or that because of completely preventable medical causes directly because of him. How can you possibly say that he is your president? That he is killing us. He is literally murdering us on purpose, and they're like, that is his God-given right to murder us because God
how
chose
many
him. Thank
Americans
the Lord
died of
here.
COVID compared to other countries?
I
The
don't.
doctor,
Triple. Millions of Americans died during COVID.
the doctor who
Not
saved
anywhere else in the
Donald
world.
Trump's life when he had COVID, gave him a life-saving medicine that was not available for everyone. This specific doctor gave him special medicine that saved his life, was fired recently because of Donald Trump's stuff. The doctor that saved his life, and Donald Trump doesn't care at all. He would have died without this
Donald
man.
Trump went out in front of everybody after that and said, you all
Nope,
should
it's
go
not
get
real.
some of this medicine. This medicine is the best. Bitch, nobody can get
Nobody
that medicine.
can get it.
Nobody.
And the man who got him that medicine was fired recently. And Donald Trump he just doesn't care. He saved his life and it's like, whatever. Vance recently in an interview when he's talking about China called them peasants. He called them peasants.
And that
on
is
purpose.
normal. That's what we want. We want a strong American president and then a vice president who's a little iffy. The vice presidents can get a little iffy. That would be perfect.
Vance is a freak. I don't know. Like, he's a freak.
The peasants comment is why China made all those videos saying that, like, your designer bags that you pay thousands of dollars for, we make for $6.
Like,
That
he's
is why
a
they did that.
He's a freak of nature. The fact that
Also-
he's able to move the way he does and say the things that he does, and nobody
You-
has beat the shit out of him yet, is insane.
You know that JD Vance, you do know that a couple years ago, he was 1,000,000% anti-Trump. He
I
said that
didn't
he
know
would
that at
never
all,
vote
actually.
for him ever in his lifetime. He said he was a disgusting
Cruz.
human being.
Do you remember
he
Ted
said
Cruz?
Ted Cruz
vile.
murdered my children. He ate my children. He's the
He
Zodiac
said
killer.
vile things. I mean, vile
Ted
things
Cruz.
about Trump. True
Not
things.
only that.
True things. And then he, I don't know, applied for, I don't know, something, I don't know. He wanted a job somewhere in the, in politics under Kamala. Kamala said no. So he didn't get the job. Now, of course, he's trying to get a job under Trump, and he gets a job.
He got it because he went as far right as you could go and went crazy.
But just a couple years
Loved it.
ago,
They loved it.
he was one of the most anti-Trump people you could ever find.
Just
Like he would
Ted
talk
Cruz.
every day
That's
about how
crazy.
disgusting he is. And now they're BFFs. Like that's mind-blowing to me. It is money. It is money. Everything is money. And so many people are suffering, and it's disgusting. It's so gross. It really
What
is.
did I say I was going to find for next stream? What I just
You
said it.
said
all of the things that the
Republican
Republicans
defunding.
defunded.
Defunded. Okay. All right. I'm
We
going to
can
do
do
that.
that.
All right, guys. Let's wrap this up. This was our
Mhm.
first one. It was crazy, and that's fine.
I'm ready. I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. In
Bye-bye.
YouTube land. I'll see you
Bye.
later. Bye.
Bye.